Okay, so OET nurse writing, passive with two objects. Today we're going to basically review yesterday's class, which was an introduction to passive. And then we're going to move on and look at this thing of two objects. This can cause a lot of problems in OET. And today I'm going to teach you how to easily not get confused. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is share the screen. Hopefully you guys can see my document, correct document. Does everyone see this here? Can I get a yes? Do you all
Yes.
see? Yeah. And Carmen, what do you see here? Just make sure it's the right one. What do you see there?
Two objects.
Fantastic. Okay, so this is what we're doing, guys. As I said, review, quick test, actually. Then we're looking at two objects, passive, and then we're going to practice. Let's get started. Can I speak to, please? Let's try Pew, if she's available, or Mei Ling. Can you say hello?
Hello, Alain.
Hello, Mei Ling. So this is an easy one, I think, Mei Ling. Can you tell me what is a tense? Because we were talking about this yesterday. What is a tense?
Morning, Alain.
Morning, Pew. What is a tense?
A tense is like what they call in a sentence the when is happened. I think it's usually describe the time.
Time, right?
I'm not sure, am I right?
Yeah, describing, or let's say giving
Time.
the time, yeah?
Yes.
So it's the words giving the time. What
Yes.
what words give the time, guys, usually?
Past
Everyone.
tense.
Well, what words? Are they nouns, verbs, adjectives? What gives the tense?
Verb.
Verbs. Okay, so
Yes.
it's usually the verbs, the action words that are giving the time. So, like you say, it can be past. Guys, it could be past, it could be present, or everyone. I think we need to wake up a little bit today. Past,
Or
present,
future.
Future.
Continuous. I'm muted
now,
again.
examples of
Future.
tenses. Examples of tenses. Gracie, Jello, can you give me an example of a tense? Anything. Past simple, continuous, perfect. I don't know if she's available. Gracie? Let's try Chella. Can you say hello, Chella, or Yagmur? Give me an example of a tense.
Hi.
Yeah, look, anything.
Example for what?
Say that again.
Perfect times.
So give me an
Perfect
example. So
times
look,
or-
I have eaten an
I
apple.
have eaten an apple.
What tense is that, guys? Everyone, what tense is this?
Present
Perfect
Present
times.
perfect.
tense.
It's called present perfect. Okay.
Present.
Give me another example. Anyone? I am. Anyone?
I am
Eating.
eating.
Eating. Okay, what tense is this?
Present
Present
continuous.
continuous.
Present continuous. Okay. So this is a tense, and this is important actually for passive. Present continuous. There's many. Carmen, do you remember how many? How many tenses?
12.
There are 12 in total. Okay. Okay, now passive. We're not studying tenses, we're studying passive. Can I speak to Ravi? So many people are saying they cannot speak today. This is
Yes,
guys,
Alain.
if you can't talk. Okay. Ravi.
Yes.
Is passive a tense?
Mm,
Is passive a tense? Like, is this passive?
yes.
I have eaten an apple. Is this passive?
No.
It's not passive.
Okay, exactly. Oh, yes.
Ravi, is
Yes, Alain.
passive a tense or a voice?
No.
Voice.
Passive is a voice that changes the focus.
It's a voice, okay?
Yes.
Guys, what is passive? Not a tense, right? Not a tense.
Yeah.
It is a voice.
Mhm.
It's a voice. And you said it changes the
Focus of the sentence.
So it changes the focus of
Yes.
sentence, And I want to ask now, brilliant, Ravi. I want to ask now, Angela, Anna. Nice to have you here, Anna. Elif, Aliona, can you put your microphones on, guys?
Yes. Yeah.
Elif, I said
Hi.
something very important yesterday. I said we start with the what?
Object.
She's saying object. Is that right, guys? Object? Everyone?
Yes.
Start with the object and not the
Subject.
Subject.
Okay. We talked about this already yesterday. We already talked about this yesterday. I'm just reviewing. This is the key thing here, right? So if I say, I ate an apple, right? Angela, Gracie, someone here called James, King James, I don't know who that is. Kenny, can you say hello? Julie, where's the subject? Very quickly, where's the subject?
Apple.
Hello. I. Where's the verb? Everyone, where's the
Eight. Eight.
8.
and where's the object?
Apple.
Apple.
Now, if I want to make passive, I'm going to take the object and I'm going to start with that. So Carmen, can you make me passive of this? An apple?
Eaten by me.
An apple was eaten
By
the man.
Me.
Me.
by me. Okay. This is passive. Guys, is this a tense? Is this a tense? No. It's passive. What is it, guys? It's a
Voice. Voice.
so this is passive voice. What actually is the tense here? What is the tense? No one knows. Let's test some people. Elif, Marwa, Lanky, Paula, can you put your microphones on? Rukaya, can you put your microphones on, please? Tasnim, what tense is this?
Actually, past.
It's past. Past.
Simple.
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 And guys, this is today, we're going to focus on this one today. Okay? We're going to focus on past, simple, passive voice today. The most important tense. Okay? So, Carmen, apple, is that the subject or the object? Carmen.
The object.
Okay. And guys, where's the subject?
Me.
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 Okay. And then we have, what's this?
Verb.
Which is
Verb
it?
3.
Verb 1, verb 2, or verb 3, guys?
Three.
Right, so eat, ate, eaten. Verb 3. Eat, ate, eaten. Okay. What's this, guys? What's this one?
Auxiliary verb.
It's
To
the
be.
auxiliary.
Auxiliary, yes.
Auxiliary be
Auxiliary.
verb, to be. Okay. This is what we're working on today. Now, Priyanka, what if I want to make a negative? How do I make a negative? Can you tell me?
An apple wasn't eaten by me.
Okay, wasn't, like that.
Yeah.
Is that right, guys? Is this negative now? Negative. Everyone?
Yes.
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 Now, Priyanka, can I say this in the Can I say this in OET writing? Wasn't.
No.
No.
No. In
Was
Was
Not.
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 informal.
was not. Okay. So, guys, remember the negative is coming in the middle here. This is where the negative is here. Okay. This is all we need today. Okay. So that's a quick review. Does anyone have any questions so far?
No.
Okay, let's continue then. So this is what I told you yesterday. When we look at the passive, what we're talking about is the object comes to the start. Okay, and that is changing the focus of the sentence. Where is the focus now? Everyone, where is the focus?
An apple.
It's on here, or
Apple.
sometimes it can also be on the action as well. It can also be here as well, right? But it's not here. The focus is not on the subject. Okay. Now, yesterday, do you remember what I said, guys, yesterday? I said, why do we use passive in medicine? Ravi, peace. Mei Ling, Pew. Why do we use passive in medicine? Why do we say an apple was eaten by?
Because it's an action.
Because we want
Change
to
the
focus.
sentence.
Guys, we
focus the patient.
focus
change.
on patients, right? So
Yeah.
in medicine, you Ravi, you said change focus, yeah? In
Yes, yes, sir.
general, but in medicine, it's
Mhm.
specifically to change the focus on the patient. That's why.
Yes.
Okay. And also, it's more, everyone, more
Formal.
formal. Ravi, what does formal mean? Who said that?
Formal,
Or
Official, professional.
Official, professional.
yeah.
Okay. So Ravi, when you're writing, when you're working in a hospital in future, you want to be using the passive so that you sound professional, official. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Now, because of this, because of these two things, actually, we need to have some rules for OET. And I wonder if you guys remember my rules. Noam, I'm not sure if you're speaking today, Noam. You can try in the chat. Yagmur, not sure if she's speaking today.
Yes.
Yagmur, did you see my video yesterday?
Your video. The doctor admitted the patient.
Did you see the class yesterday? You remember the
No.
class yesterday? Ah, okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Class.
So you tell me now, if the action is done by the patient,
patient.
we use
Active.
We use
more. Do I use active
We
or
use
Active.
yes, active.
active voice?
If the
Okay.
medical professional does the action, we use passive.
Passive.
Say that one more time. If the medical professional,
Does the action,
yeah,
we use passive.
use passive. Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's the reason? Why?
Why?
Because
The focus should be focus on the
Focus
patient.
on patient.
patient, right? If the patient is doing the action, we use active because the focus is on the patient. If the medical profession does the action, we use passive to keep focus on the patient. Okay, now here's the tricky bit. Shala, if you could say hello. Mariama, Kim, do you remember number 3? If
Hello.
hello, if the action is sorry about this, guys. Let me just turn my apologies. I just had having a bit of a
Is a thing or not a person.
sorry, the connection problem there, guys. If the action is done by
Object. An object or a thing.
right?
Thing.
Example, the body.
Body part.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound religious here, but you know, the body is a thing, but the mind, you are not a thing, right? You are something else. So if it's done by the thing, like the body. Now, yesterday I confused this. What is it? We use
Active.
active, right? Which is a little bit crazy. It's very strange. Let me give you an example, guys. Let me give you an example. Look, I might say, his microphone off, please, Julie. I'll hear you, Julie. Keep your microphone off, please. Guys, I can say his blood pressure increased, or do I say was increased? Which one?
Increased.
Was increased.
Not was.
Increased.
It's kind of crazy, but we don't usually say was increased. We don't usually say that. We usually say his blood pressure increased to whatever. Okay, I don't know the number. Okay. Now, there's some small situations where you might say this. Look, his blood pressure was increased by the medication. Okay. Is this active or passive?
Passive.
This was passive. We don't usually say this, but you might maybe one time say this if you want to talk about the causes, okay? But don't worry about that. Usually, 90% of the time is going to be active, okay? For today, that's all we need. Can I do a quick test on you guys? Are you ready for a test?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you some sentences, and you tell me, are they correct or incorrect? Okay. And I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to read. Are these sentences correct? Active, passive. Just have a read. You can type in the chat box if you want to say number 1 correct, number 2 incorrect, something like that. Don't mind. See, it's easy, isn't it? It should be easy, really. It's not that hard when you follow my rules, okay? So I'm going to ask Marwa, is number 1 correct? Marwa, you can put your microphone on, or Peace. Kenny,
Yes, correct.
why is it correct?
It is active. The patient
And this-
who is the one who visits the clinic.
Yeah, so the action is done by the patient, yeah? Of course.
Yeah.
Guys, number 2, the nurse admitted Mrs. Jones on Wednesday. Correct or incorrect? Everyone.
Better use passive.
Correct, right? Oh. Who is doing the action?
Nurse.
Medical professional.
So should I use passive or active?
Passive.
Passive.
So I should say Mrs. Jones
The Joe was
Was
admitted on
admitted.
Wednesday.
on Wednesday. Okay? It's easy, right? It's easy when you think about it like this. Hopefully I'm making this easy. Mrs. White complained of chest pains. Is it correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Correct.
Well, yes and no. Is it active or passive?
Active.
Active.
Right, there's no was here, so it's active. And is this the patient?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it is correct, but should we say complained in OET?
Better use
Complain. Complain.
No, don't say complain, don't say suffer either. These
Reported.
are judgmental words. Just say
Reported.
Reported.
Or experience.
never say complain. Okay, his body pressure increased rapidly, his blood pressure.
Yeah, correct.
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 Is this what is this? Is this number 1, number 2, or number 3?
Number 3.
Number
Three.
3. And guys, keep your microphones off if you have a noisy background. So this is correct, isn't it? It's active.
Yeah.
You don't say was increased. Usually 90%. Okay. Number 5, the doctor advised Mrs. Smith to reduce her alcohol consumption. Everyone, correct or not?
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
Better use passive.
We need to use passive because the doctor. It's easy. It's so easy. Okay, so what should I say? Carmen, can you change this to passive? So this is where
I still don't understand what you mean with correct and incorrect.
according to my rules here, okay? So if the action is done by the patient, we must use active. Okay, so here, Mrs. White is the patient.
Yeah, okay.
She is doing the action, reporting. Make sense? But here, is this the patient, Carmen? It's so easy, Carmen. Is this the patient?
No, it's a medical professional.
But you never do that in OET. You've got to use the passive. Okay? So you would say Mrs. Smith. Now remember, passive, Carmen, is be verb plus verb 3. Okay? Mrs. Smith is the object. She's not the subject of the sentence. What's next?
So Smith was advised.
Was
Mrs.
advised.
Smith was Advised to reduce.
Consumption by the doctor.
Does that make sense, Carmen?
Yeah, I know what you mean. We have to transfer the medical professional to don't be the medical professional to be the patient. Okay, I understand that. But why active and passive? I mean, which is correct? The active or the passive? We will learn passive here, not active, no?
I'm telling you when to use it. So it's if. What does if mean?
When?
Carmen, it's not so simple as like use passive. It's like when you should use it. When use active, when use passive. Read those rules again, Carmen. It's very clear. Okay. Number 6. Mrs. Green performed surgery and was discharged. Is it correct, guys, or incorrect?
Is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Why?
Because the surgery was performed by the medical professional.
Yeah, Mrs. Green is not going to do surgery on herself. That's crazy. So we need to say, what are we going to say here? Surgery
Surgery
Was performed.
Performed.
Now, what's next?
And Mrs. Green was discharged.
Yeah, and
And
she was,
she
yeah,
was
Mrs.
discharged.
Nice, nice. Okay, so this is still reviewing, really, okay? I want to go deeper today. Are you guys ready to go a little bit deeper? More
Yes.
details?
Yes.
Carmen, if you guys, it's okay that if you're not quite getting this, you can send me an email later. I'm happy to chat, as I said at the start of class. But we need to go a little bit deeper now, okay? And what I want to talk about is one of the most common errors you see. Okay, the most common errors. And the error, or this can be very, very confusing when we do this. So look at this. I ate an apple and an orange. What's happened here?
Two objects.
We have
Two objects.
Two objects.
Objects now, okay. And what did we say? Passive, you start with
object.
With object.
So this is the problem. Sometimes we say this. I gave an apple to my friend. Okay. Now we have, how many objects are there, guys?
Two
Two.
objects.
Okay, so which object do I start my sentence with? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a difficulty. It's very, very tricky. Which object do I start my sentence with? Do I say an apple was given?
No, my friend was
My-
given an apple
Or do I say my friend was given? Yeah, exactly. You see the problem. Does everyone see the problem, right? And this problem happens very often in OET. So today I'm going to teach you how to solve the problem, okay? You will not get confused. So let's look at some not apples. Are we going to talk about apples really in OET? No. Let's look at some OET examples. Can everyone see this? You guys-
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we're studying today. Two objects. And let me just delete this one. If I delete this, passive is easy, should be easy. Okay? So for example, Jello, are you there? Angela? Akua?
Yes, Sir Alain.
So where's the subject?
The doctor
Where's the verb?
prescribed,
And the object?
medication.
Can you make me a passive?
The medication was prescribed by the doctor.
Is this correct, guys? Everyone? Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
in this situation, it's okay. It's okay in this situation. Actually, though, should we say by the doctor in OET?
No.
Yeah.
Actually, not necessary.
Try to just don't talk about nurses and doctors. if you can, okay? The reader already knows it must be a doctor, okay? So the medication was prescribed. Here's the problem. The doctor prescribed medication to Mrs. Jones. Okay, now we have two objects. Jello, do you think you can make me a passive here?
The medication was prescribed to Mrs. Jones.
Is this correct, guys? The medication was prescribed to Mrs. Jones. What do you guys think? Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I? So which object are we starting with?
Medication.
Your medication.
The first object.
Can I start with the other one? Mrs. Jones was.
Prescribed the medication.
Medication.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now sometimes you can choose both, but sometimes not. Sometimes it doesn't make sense if you start with the wrong one. Okay. And today we will practice. But let's go back. Let's go back. What's the difference between these two? Does anyone know what name we give to these two objects? Does anyone know the name of these?
The right object and in the right object.
Yeah, Pew, say that again.
The right object and in the right object.
Okay, so direct object, indirect object. And Pew, do you know what is direct object? What does that mean?
The right object, the right object is who received the action.
Okay, receives the action. Does that make sense to everyone here? Receives the action.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just quick review again. Subject, what is a subject, guys? Subject is
The doer of the action.
Doer of the action.
doer. Okay. Verb is
What
An action.
describe the action.
hope this is making sense, Carmen. You said that you've never done formally grammar, even though your speaking is very good, Carmen. So subject, doer of action. Verb is the action. And then the object is the
Receiver.
So usually the object is just receiving the action. Does that make sense, everyone? What does receive mean? What does it mean,
Yeah.
receive?
Everyone.
Receive,
Fetch.
get, obtain.
Yeah, get, take.
Look at this. Alan threw the ball. Well, how about this? Alan spoke to Paul. Okay. Who is doing the action?
Alan
What is the action?
Spoke.
spoke.
And who receives my message, my information?
Oh.
Right, so that's the idea. Now, so which one is the direct object here? Can anyone tell me which one is the direct object? Is it this one?
Mr. Jones?
Mrs. Jones.
Look at the verb. Look at the verb. Is it prescribed Mrs. Jones or prescribed medication?
Medication.
Prescribed medication.
This is the direct object, right? It's the medication receiving the action. Does that make sense, guys?
We have to say Mr. Jones' medication.
Oh, say that again. Go on.
I didn't understand.
Peace, go on. Ask.
You
That's why we're here.
You said medication is the direct object. How? How is it?
Because it's receiving the action of prescribed. Okay. If I change this to speak, then Mrs. Jones can be direct object, but it's prescribe. What does that mean, guys? Prescribe.
Given.
Something we are giving, prescribing.
So list of
And do you normally prescribe
Orders.
medication? Do we prescribe
Orders.
medication or do we prescribe people?
order, yes.
We prescribe medication. All the time.
Please, does this make sense? I prescribed Paul. Does that make sense to you?
No.
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 Not the direct object. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what is an indirect object?